All right, my friends, it is Monday, May the 12th. Let's go ahead and get into the market outlook and plans for the week ahead. Okay, so I'm going to make this one short and sweet. Let's go ahead and jump straight into the macro. The macro has no major updates. We're just patiently waiting for the continuation of the higher time frame plan to play out. Yo guys, hit that like and subscribe button for me. Appreciate it. From a mentality or mindset standpoint, I'm not entirely sold on the idea that we're going to break the seasonality mold. I am remaining a little bit skeptical in the back of my mind, just so that if things turn for the worse, that I'm not slow to react. I want to remain, light on my feet and able to react if things change. But as it seems, we're going to keep betting on the dip and up only for now. Summertime chop here soon, where we probably leg back down towards 90K, or we consolidate, in this support zone above 102K and trade up again. Obviously praying that we trade up again. From a level standpoint, we'll keep this short and sweet. Medium term support, or just like local support, is basically these singles from 102 all the way down to 100K. Just don't want to see 100K get lost if you're a bull right now. Ideally, you want to see this micro range that's kind of shifting upwards. We'll look at this in more detail later. You want to see that hold. If we hold, 120K is the next obvious target. From there, 150K. If we don't hold 100K, then it basically means that we'll trade down towards 90K pretty much guaranteed at that point. So that's pretty much it for the macro, right? It really is just short and sweet. We're playing off the same plans. Medium time frame is pretty obvious right now. So right now we basically have this, these singles from this leg up that we just had. That's what you want to see held. So call it 102K, give or take. You don't want to see that really get tested or lost. If we were to trade down into 102K, that would probably be a fantastic long opportunity. So be mindful of that. Maybe you'll get blessed up with a dip here pretty soon. The two ways that I see us moving forward are as we build out this range. You either see us, doing aggressive sell-offs into the singles that get bought for continuation up, or we start to lose momentum and continue to just do weaker and weaker drives and see that momentum loss pattern that I always teach. If we do the momentum loss, it basically means that you would be targeting mid 90s first, and most likely upper 90 or lower 90s after that, but level to level, right? If we were to start to see bulls do this kind of scenario where we hold the singles and start to continue to trade up, I think that once you start to get over 106 into 108, it's just going to be like the all-time high trigger kind of, it doesn't mean there won't be whipsaws here and there, so it doesn't mean you just open up 100x, leverage long or anything like that, but, it would basically be a given that we would be setting all-time highs after that. So if we start to, get towards, 106, 100 to 108, then, 120K is where I'm going to be betting. So you have the upside targets, you have the downside targets. Median time frame is pretty straightforward. You're just kind of identifying this range that we're looking at. A little bit of altcoin yap. I don't want to run through everything, but yeah, basically on Sui. So Sui looked pretty good to me. I think Sui is just a classic kind of layer one scam. I think Hype is basically the complete opposite of Sui is how I look at it, in the sense that they're both layer ones, but it's one's more, fundamental, and organic, and one's much more suit VC scam. But, yeah, basically splitting my bets, one VC, one organic is almost how I'm looking at it. I think that they'll both probably do well. Excuse me with the throat clears, guys. It's just allergy season right now. Altcoin, pretty fucking phenomenal. I'm already up 40% almost now on my buys. So yeah, actually probably over that. I would need to go look up my average entry. I really like Doge as well. So basically the argument with Doge is really simple. That, I like the way that it was bottomed out. Got really lucky that it started to leg up right after I bought it. Anytime I think that Bitcoin is going to go into, I don't want to say price discovery from a meme standpoint, but just trade up, aggressively. I almost always buy Doge. If you guys have been in the group a long time, you guys have seen that. Doge is one of the only altcoins out of the thousands or millions of altcoins that exist that has survived for a long time and continuously done well. So it's pretty much, for the foreseeable future, Doge will be one that I just buy as my extra risk. Similar kind of argument with Bonk. I really liked the way that the chart was starting to look. Yeah, Bonk got absolutely brutalized and it got beat down really hard, but I liked this kind of big booty bottom pattern that we had established on them. And I basically split the bets one for the OG and one for the new Solana kind of OG-esque kind of meme. So that's what my port looks like. I am maybe interested in picking up some RWA plays with like Ondo and Pendle. If I wanted to do an AI play, it'd probably be Tau. I'm mostly focused on the memes right now, though, guys. That really should be the takeaway from this video. There's like lots of opportunities, lots of things you could chase. I think that memes will be one of the things that continue to do well. I almost love the idea. You know, we talked about this a lot in some of our streams. I like the idea that so many people in our space just like went hard bearish on memes, right? Like memes will never come back kind of, you know, sentiment. That was pretty prevalent. And, you know, throughout the whole time, you know, it didn't make sense to own any of these things, right? And just eat the drawdown perpetually, right? But whenever we go back to risk on, you know, we always want to emphasize pressure on memes, right? That's pretty much it, guys. Good luck out there this week. Cheers.